Let's add this one. Let's remove that. There we go. Welcome aboard. There we go. That's my door. You ever wonder where I did this? I do this in a room. That's my door. You ever wonder what the wall looks like behind me for real? That's it. That's it. And you want to know the rest of this stuff is I don't paint. I got to figure out how to do this stuff. All right. So here's what I did. I got, what the heck? Let's go show you everything. Here's today. There's the rest of the room. There's the closet. I could do it back here. Actually, I don't mind doing it back here. It's all right. The door, the rest of it, I put the tree back here. This is not exactly what we wanted to talk about today. But there we go. Actually, I like this. I got a little bit more room. This might be the new thing. Welcome to Tomato Talk, May 31st, 2022. Yes, for over 2 years, we've been providing you sometimes absolutely useless information, other times, Kurt, good afternoon there, my friend. Sometimes absolutely useless information, other times fantastic stuff that you need to know. Exciting, career-minded, yes. COVID, oh, hopefully we're beyond the rest of that stuff, but who knows? Who knows? Here's what I do know. It is the end of May. That I absolutely do know. It's going to be a beautiful day today. It should be like close to 90 degrees. Fantastic. Tomorrow, June 1st, it's going to be in the 60s again. I think the high is going to be in the upper 60s. It's crazy. Crazy. But maybe that's just a sign of what's gone on over the past couple of years. Everything just continues to change and change frequently, rapidly. What do we do with this stuff? Well, we got to adapt to it, don't we? No matter what our challenges are as that goes. All right, so my most immediate challenge is the fact that I don't know where I want to do this thing anymore. So I'm doing it from home. Look, I'm home doing this thing. Every once in a while, we'll go out on the road and do that. But I didn't want to paint. I was using tar paper. I don't laugh. I know a bunch of you folks here actually do things and can build things. So I got flat black paper, uh, whatever. It's way to lay flat against the whole thing. That'll be all right. And then I always got that door out there, so we're gonna figure out what to do with the door. But anyhow, that's there. Or put something back up over there. I thought about a bookshelf, you know, and then I can highlight maybe some of the books that I have read. Get your shift together. This is why communication skills is so important, and being able to enunciate is so important. Get your shift together. There's an F in there. There's an F in there's an F in shift. Gosh, it's a good thing we don't have a transcript for these things. Steve Rizzo, great guy. Let me tell you something. And you want to talk about getting your shift together? You need to do that. That's all about attitude. Yeah. I'm waiting for my wife to pop in over here. It's all about having a positive attitude and finding the humor in everything. Everything. And I know, and I could tell you from personal experience, that's hard. That is truly, truly hard. And in my world, when it comes to hard, is that, yeah, Kurt, I'll do that one. In my world, it's like I seem to get more frustrated when I don't have a clear set of objectives in front of me. So bouncing one thing to another, it's not really it. It's the question is, what is it? Always, what is it that you really want to accomplish? And do you have the stick-to-itiveness? And I think that was Greg Reed's word, stick-to-itiveness to get there. So let's go turn around. And Kurt, we'll go to the other side here. What about this other book? 3 Feet from Gold. 3 feet from gold. Are you 3 feet from gold? What happens when you start and you get stuck? There's another one, right? John's Crazy Socks. John and Mark Cronin. John's Crazy Socks. If you don't know that story, you should know that story. Great story. It's another challenge that they went through, and they created an opportunity out of it. Is John, special needs, smiles all the time. Let's mix a few of these things together. Special needs guy, smiles all the time, and has got a personality that's like a magnet. Made you just want to be with this guy. Absolutely incredible. He was at the HIA trade show. Hopefully, you got a chance to meet him. So what do they do? The guy, he's a guy. He loves socks. So they designed socks. John's Crazy Socks. Crazy idea? I mean, really, what are you going to do? Socks? How can you sell socks, clothing companies? It's an issue and stuff like that. Well, you want to know something? Those socks were so crazy. All right, audience. How crazy were they? Maybe I should have a live audience too. I got a couch. How crazy were they? Were so crazy. President Bush Sr. wore them. He wore them at an event, and he wore them at an event that not obviously, but he wore them at an event that was on TV. And John's socks were worn by the President of the United States on TV. That's crazy. That's the coolest thing in the world. So that's where that goes. So everything continues to change, right? We don't know where our opportunities are going to come from. We don't know what's going to be when we start getting into and doing different things. But darn it, the question is, what do we do? How do we not get in our way? And I do that too. It's like share my inner thoughts today. Yeah, thanks, Kurt. But share my inner thoughts today. It's like I get so frustrated, when I don't have a plan of some sort together. Or when you're relying on other people to do things and you're like, oh, they're going to do it because it's the right thing for them to do. And gosh for doodle. How's that for a strong word? Gosh for doodle. Go figure out how to spell that one. And then they don't do it. You're like, man, why? Why? And those things come up so frequently too. Why? And then my buddy of mine likes to tell me or ask me and question me on this one. He goes like, whose business plan are you working? I'm going to let that one sink in for a little bit as we spin around over here. Whose plan are you working? God, that's nuts, right? It's nuts. Whose plan are you working? Whose plan are you working? All right, let's go the other way. Green screen. All right, so here we go. So I mentioned that we needed a green screen. All right, where are we out there, Kurt? Kurt, you're talkative here today. Let's go with this one. This is good for everybody to read. Women do excel. Let me tell you something. So what do you get? Use a virtual background. There we go. All right, virtual background. Now I could paint the wall behind me green, right? Now I got a permanent green screen. And I could put any kind of a virtual background. I don't know if I got virtual backgrounds on this thing set up, or not. Don't think I do. I don't know. I use StreamYard on that one. I never really looked into doing the virtual background, but I don't want to. And here's the idea why. Because I wanted this thing to be right. And when I started this thing years ago, I can't believe it was years ago. And this wasn't my first rodeo with this kind of stuff, but it really was my first rodeo where I was in charge of the computer aspect of it, the camera, the behind the camera, in front of the camera, the whole thing, content, all the rest of that stuff. So it was quite a learning experience. Turned out to be great, and it is current time an absolutely great learning experience as it goes. But I wanted me to be truly authentic, is what it comes down to, and that's why not really using the green screen. But I do have one. It's here. And just turn the camera. It's easier. That is the green screen. So and it attaches to the back of your chair, which is really kind of cool. And I can talk about the rest of the crap I got in the room over here. But it attaches right to the back of the chair. I have used that. I used that with the camera. That was, you wouldn't believe it just came up over there. I was using it with the camera on the computer, and it didn't look good. It just didn't look good. So I was like, and that's where I eventually wound up with the camera, a better camera. It's one of these 1080 cameras. Did that whole thing, and here we are going along with this thing. So we just continue to change. That's the point. We just continue to change. So we'll kind of maneuver that around a little bit as we go forward. All right, tomorrow's June. Let me get into this stuff here before I run out of time. I don't really want to do that. Let's poke our head back. Also want to figure out how to be a lefty. This way I could do this and scoot and share the screens, which I haven't done, but we will do that. All right, so here's what I did figure out, though, by the way. So using StreamYard, I could add slides. When I do the slides, I can then put in the things that I do want to highlight. So that's good. And I think if I take me out of it, I'm still on. We're going to drop you there. There you go. Lefties this morning. I assume you're a lefty. We got to get you on here one of these days, my friend. So today's May 31st, last day of May. Crazy it is. Uh, you think with the left side of your brain. Okay, there we go. Okay, yeah, good. All right. So I should just keep the comments live feed over here as that goes. Uh, so women excel. Okay, I got you on that one. Yeah, definitely keep it together. My wife is good. She keeps it together for me. And then she questioned me, and then I get a little frustrated because I don't have an exact answer on it. That's the way that one goes. Lefties are smarter. We think the right side of our brain. There we go. I think it is. Yeah. And sure, about having them on. So we'll definitely have them on. All right, so let's get back over here. Let's go back with we're gonna take you off. Boom. There we go. All right, so here we go. We get the slides. Tomorrow is June 1st. So, and this has to this if you've been out to Epcal Park in April and you're going back out there in August, September, and October, you might want to support anything that's going on in the executive park over at Calverton. But this is so Stony Brook University, and I thought this was interesting too. And maybe this is a good indication. We'll go political now. You want to go political? Why not? Maybe this is a good indication of the character of my local councilman. I think they kind of let everybody council persons at this one, but councilman. What does he call them? Council member. That's what it is now. Council members. Everybody's council members, men, women, whatever. So it's not really councilmen. It's council member. Council member Jonathan Cornwright. Forget about what we call council member. Sounds good. All the rest of that stuff. So he is in my area, and I live in the Three Village area. So he's got Stony Brook University. Stony Brook University campus, Stony Brook, has got a business incubator on the campus, on the Stony Brook campus. Stony Brook University also has a food incubator. The food incubator happens to be, that's right, in Calverton, New York, in the executive park in Calverton, very close to where those, the drag strip stuff is. In fact, I know it's really close because my first time out there, I made a incorrect turn and wound up over by the Stony Brook Incubator, and I was like, hey, that's where that is. But I didn't know that was the food incubator. Hey, we learn as we do, right? But I didn't know it was the food incubator, so didn't really pay too much attention to it, and had a destination that day. But there's a food incubator, part of Stony Brook University in Calverton, in Riverhead. So Jonathan Cornwright, who happens to be the council member over here in Stony Brook, decided to have this event over in Calverton. And I was like, out of the territory. And so he doesn't think like that. Territory. He doesn't think like Democrat, Republican, liberal. I don't believe in politics or politicians, anything like that. And you want to know something? I'm beginning to not believe in politics either. All right. Elected officials, yes. Should we have people in our government that are representative of the people, by the people, for the people? Yeah. This happens to be a by the people, for the people, of the people kind of thing. I didn't know it was as big as it was. So I give him a load of credit by doing that. Everybody's been invited, to go and do the different things. So that's it. I do expect to be out there. So the event goes from 2 to 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. That is Wednesday, June 1st. June 1st, 2 to 4 p.m. I will be there between 2 and 3 p.m. I always seem to have to leave Calverton at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I know. But so I'll be out there at 2 o'clock, and certainly looking forward to meeting with those companies that are in the food incubator. So who are these companies? There's 70 of them. 70. There are 70 operating companies in that Calverton facility. And what I mean by operating, I mean they're operating probably at different points in time with their business plan, probably at different points in time with how much food they actually produce and where that food is sold and the rest of that. But these are operating companies, just like the business incubator at Stony Brook. Those are operating companies. I met one of them that is doing cancer research. That's at the Stony Brook facility. Very interesting time, speaking with the gentleman that was representing the company. that was at an event with the Brookhaven officials, the Brookhaven IDA, and it's fascinating. So the food incubator. Why do I find that fascinating? I can tell you because I just love these smaller companies. I love these startup companies. I love these companies that are out there thinking, hey, you know what? I truly enjoy cooking in this case. I truly enjoy eating a healthy lifestyle in this case. I truly enjoy coming up with a unique product in this case. And I want to go out there and I want to use my product. I want to build my business in a way that's going to change my portion of the world. Wow, that's great. Will every one of these businesses succeed? I don't know. I've never met them. I couldn't tell you. I hope so. I certainly hope so. But I know I'm very interested in meeting with those people. I'm very interested in learning more about what is going on over there. Fascinated to see that Stony Brook University is out there supporting these companies in such a different way. You know, you might think of these universities as schools. That would be realistic. Okay. They are schools. They have students that go to the schools. They have teachers, professors, administrators, whatever. But what about postgraduates? What about all of these alumni? What about the continuing education portion of it? What about all these other programs that are going on inside of these schools? Tons, tons. We were lucky enough that we had our Toastmaster group that met on the campus of Stony Brook University. But while I was there, I met a few other adult education groups that are meeting on the campus of Stony Brook University, along with this. Then, of course, you've got Stony Brook Medicine. It just goes on and on. There are a load of opportunities right here, right here. And the question is everybody taking care of them? Is everybody aware of them? Is everybody aware of them? Which is going to bring this whole thing back to the full circle of change. Did you know? Did you know Stony Brook had a business incubator? I knew of it. Didn't know how many companies were there. Didn't know how many successful companies are there. Did you know Stony Brook has a food incubator? Didn't know. Flat out, really, truly didn't know. I heard of it, years ago, but didn't really know. 70 plus companies that are there. This is a networking event that they're doing. It's an open house event. What the idea here is for these companies to gain more exposure and to meet with other companies where it would be some sort of a symbiotic relationship. What other companies would be interested in that? Well, I love stories of companies that are growing, that have got some reason, that big why behind them, that maybe have gotten started off in a different way that perhaps could be a career path for others. I'm sure I'm going to wind up with a couple of folks over there that fit into that category. In fact, I'm very, very sure of that whole thing. I know that many of you are very health-minded people. Quite a few of those companies are in there. They're healthy companies. Number of gluten-free, dairy-free companies that are there could tie in with the folks that have got different kinds of medical issues that they are dealing with, different digestive issues along the way. Might be something there. I also have met quite a few people too that are looking for some remote positions, right? Don't want to travel into an office and do anything. How many positions do you think, and how flexible do you think some of these companies would be if they are operating out of a food incubator and they don't have an office? Well, they're only operating out of there. Their big focus is making the food because that's what they love to do. And if you speak to many people that are in business, especially at the beginning stages of the whole thing, they're everything. They're every little aspect of that business. Everything. And then they run into the whole thing of a delegation. How do I delegate? How do I be a partner? How do I do any of these things? Not the easiest thing in the world. But it does create opportunities for those that are looking to do a little something extra and want the flexibility to do it at their own pace, at their own time, and only work with a company that they really are emotionally attached to. And really work with a company that really cares about that employee or that partner, that business associate, call it whatever you will, because they're both on that same page. They both want to accomplish this, or they both want to deliver the same message but differently. That's fantastic. Delivering the same message differently. So I bet you there's a lot of opportunities out there. Probably not any high paying jobs or anything like that, but a lot of opportunities to get started in different areas. So that is, let's go there. So that's the open house event with Councilmember Jonathan Cornreich and team and many others. Hoping to meet a few of our friends from Riverhead and the council members that are in that area too at this thing. So that'll be really cool. So that is 4603 Middle Country Road in Calverton. Let's go on to the next slide that we made over here, which is the same thing. 70 plus startup businesses. Oh, you want to RSVP if you can. And that is, whoop, I didn't want to jump to that one. I don't think I could copy this. I'll put it in the page over here. So this young woman is who the council member is working with. Really super nice. I've spoken with her a couple of times about the event, about the why of the event too, which I thought was kind of cool. And here's another thing I'll share with you. I should have paid attention when I took typing lessons in junior high school. That was a long time ago. I guess that was another little moment, huh? Why do I need to take typing lessons? I'm never going to type. Ha, 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 ha. Guess what? There we go. That's what you want to RSVP to. BrookhavenNewYork.gov. Yeah, definitely want to RSVP to her. Let her know that you're coming. If it's a last minute decision, that's fine too. But this way they have an idea of who is attending. So you got that. I'll leave that up as I move on to the next slide because we're 22 minutes. This one is going to be June 2nd. So that is Thursday night, June 2nd. This one's interesting. Now, I spoke with Rabbi Mati Grossbaum about the event. I wound up with a title. Kurt, you'll appreciate this. I wound up with a title. I'm now co-chair of the event committee for Village Chabad, something like that. I got to get that one together. Got to get it in writing. This way I know. But this is another one. So remember, everybody at the incubator, all those businesses, we're all moving forward, right? They're all changing. Change is the word over here. So Rabbi Mati Grossbaum, who's coordinating, I asked him, I was like, Mati, Rabbi Mati, really, like, what's the message going to be delivered over here? And it's going to be more that this gentleman has found his roots. He found his Jewish roots, things like that. And that's what has basically saved him. And he'll be actually performing too, because he's a rapper. He's a rabbi and a rapper. So it should be good. He'll definitely talk about his story on the whole thing. But he went from a challenged past where I guess was lucky, he didn't get into too much trouble with the whole thing. But he does say it on there. Okay, this is the incredible story of his transformation from a secular drug dealing rapper to a Chabad rabbi. Secular drug dealing, non-religious, dealing drugs, as you can see from the photo over there, and now became a rabbi. Wow, what a transformation that is. Or if we're going to use one syllable word, what a change that is. So that should be fascinating. I'll definitely be there. It's $20 to attend. It definitely has a Jewish push to the whole thing. It's open to everybody. And there'll be some light refreshments there. Salads, seltzers, and spirits. And they do a great job with these things. So you want to hear an inspirational story, that'll be good. Always a nice group of people that come down there that are interested in how people adapt to challenges and make changes. In every one of these events that the Village Chabad is held that has to do with this kind of a story has been the same thing. There's a gentleman that used to work at Cantor Fitzgerald. That was the September 11th story. Another gentleman spoke about he was in the 1974 Munich Olympics on the fencing team. I don't have the time to go into all of these stories over there, but that was That was a terrible story. How do you survive that story? Same thing, Cantor Fitzgerald. Another one was The Last Jewish Gangster. That was an interesting one too, as that comes to be. And then the Holocaust survivor, who was in the concentration camps and lost a lot of family. And how do you deal with all these things? You have to change and adapt. That's what it is. Change and adapt. All right, and I think that is the last one that we have coming up. Oh, we have some musical events this weekend. Alex has asked me to share some of these things. So I wanted to do it. This is the Brickyard. It's another change story. Let's get rid of the brand thing there. And it's another change story. So this is at the Brickyard Bar and Grill. That is the Clarion Hotel in Ronkonkoma, right by the airport. So this Friday and Saturday. Friday, they have the return of Petty Four, which is a Tom Petty tribute band. And on the 4th, the debut of Time Machine. So joke on that one. It's been, bring a DeLorean. So that's the 3rd and 4th. It's 8 to 11 o'clock. I don't believe there's any kind of a cover charge on these things. And I do believe that the food at this place is really good. So there's another one, another changing event as that goes. All right, so let's go. Let's remove that. We'll come back over here and talk about this change. Change and adapt. Why do we need to do all of that stuff? What is it? What is it that we need to do? And why do we need to change? Because the world keeps changing. But that was a screaming thing in the last 2 years, right? 2019 was great. Everything was moving along. End of 2019, what was going on? 2020, what happened, right? St. Patty's area, middle of March, COVID hit. Now all of a sudden we're all at home. We're locked up. Here we are 2+ years later. Is it different? Are we still doing the same thing? The answer is yes. On both counts, there are still cities, or there are cities again, that are under full lockdown. And the impact of that to them is immense. But the impact of that on the rest of the world, immense. We have to change and we have to adapt to that thing. That's from COVID. What about business? The way we do business has changed dramatically. The workforce, are they going back to work? A lot of folks have, a lot of folks have not. You got to get vaccinated. You're not going to get vaccinated, you can't go back to work. You wear a mask, you don't wear a mask. Some of that has disappeared. But then again, what's coming back? You got these new variants. I don't know what the future holds on that one. Get vaccinated, don't get vaccinated. Who do you tell? Don't tell. I don't know. HIPAA rules seem to have been we've kind of played with them a little bit, right? Do you need to know what vaccinations I get publicly? Maybe the HR people need to know, stuff like that. The schools need to know. It's like all of a sudden everything's out in the open. And then you wear a mask. It's like, why are you wearing a mask? That kind of thing. You got to change. We all have to change and adapt. I think wearing masks for certain people is going to remain a permanent thing. Restaurants, outdoor dining, I hope that remains a permanent thing. I hope that a lot of restaurants continue to do more of the takeout stuff as well as in-house service, at table service and things like that. I think it's great. I've loved eating outdoors in some of these parking lots. Somebody's at me south, they've been doing that in France all along, right? Street out in Paris, eating out on the street, people watching that stuff's great. It really is. So it's nice. It's nice to see that. Close down some of these roads. Figure out the parking is in the surrounding areas. Do that. Public transportation. Why? Let's make that stuff happen a bit more. Public transportation would also be a good thing. Gas prices, they're going to continue to rise? Perhaps. We need to adapt to that. We need to adapt to that. We need to continue to change. I'm changing. I'm doing this. Behind the scenes, I'm actually looking at really taking a hard look at the way you do a whole lot of things. I'm trying to bring a whole bunch of different things together. You'll hear more about that as it goes. That's the change I want to make. What am I doing here with changing the wall? That's a little bland, isn't it? So we got to do something back there. We won't leave it like that. We'll make some changes as that happens, as that goes. But here's the one thing that I definitely think that you should always be involved with. And as people that want to change things for the better. Are some of the ideas pie in the sky? No pun intended to our food group people. Yes. Yeah. Oh man, I've come up with some ideas that are like, that's nuts. But then again, I always wonder about that book, 3 Feet from Gold. How nuts is it? How crazy is it really to do that? What do I need to do? What resource do I need to bring together to make that happen? Who do I need to vet out some of these ideas? Talk about the Get Your Shift Together book. I also joined the mastermind group, the shift group. Was able to hash out some of these ideas. So I'm going to be meeting with them separately. Stony Brook Small Business Development Center. Ronnie Rose and the team over there. Spoke with Leslie before today too. Got a meeting coming up with them to really hash out some of these ideas to see, is it pie in the sky or is it something that's doable? We'll find out. Now I'm sitting here, 60 plus. It's like, I'm too old. I'm not too old. That's crap. I don't believe I'm too old. I needed to collect all of this information along the way in order to do this. That's where that's at. But here's the other thing, and I'm going to go after this one. Are they too young? Are students too young to come up with that pie in the sky idea? Nah, absolutely not. And here's the actionable side of it too, my friends. It's up to you. It's up to you. It's up to you to share your story, if you want to do it, with these students. I've gotten involved with career employment options, obviously with the ECNY Foundation, same kind of thing. With working and trying to bring together the whole idea of career opportunities that are right here on Long Island, and also speak at the high schools, even younger, junior high. 4th grade was my earliest class. I know I've mentioned that a couple of times over. I'll continue to mention it again, I'm sure, in future videos. But is it too early to go speak to students or kids about that pie in the sky idea? About something like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if? Wouldn't it be dope if? Wouldn't it be lit if they could actually pursue that? The answer is yeah, and they can. They just may not know where in the world to go and then say, I can't do that. I don't know where to begin. That's where we come in. See, if we can give them the confidence to think of these ideas, jot them down on paper someplace. Doesn't have to be a business plan. Doesn't have to be market. Doesn't have to be a plan. Jot them down on something. Hey, you envision, the visionary people, right? What do you do? How do you envision your goals? Get magazines, papers, stuff like that. Go print stuff off the internet, whatever, and make a vision board. You can do that. That's not a business plan, but it's amazing how many times that's come to be. And then share that. Give the students the confidence to share that. Maybe we should bring the SBDC, the Stony Brook Small Business Development Center, SCORE, retired executives, and other groups like that into the schools to speak to the students about, what you're thinking of doing is not unrealistic. What you need to know is that there are resources out there. And those resources will help you go on to do something that maybe you didn't think was possible. And that's where change comes from with all of us. It's these crazy ass ideas. It's these other ideas that completely fail, but then all of a sudden something good comes of it. I just watched a video last night about the history of electricity, of how Dale Carnegie, Andrew Carnegie on that one, was involved in that. George Westinghouse was involved in it. J.P. Morgan was involved in it, and how cutthroat it was, and how it went and did, and how they went and fought each other, and then how some people failed, but then others picked it up and reworked it, and all of a sudden it became a great success. A success in the way of electricity we're still enjoying today. Where does it go? It's always a good question. Where does it go? Well, Nikola Tesla was in that video. The Tesla Science Center is over here in Wading River, connected to a bike path. Bike path is actually something I've been working on, the Satoka Greenway Trail, for quite a while. Ribbon cutting is coming up. Does it all connect? Yeah, it really does. It really does. Does it connect seamlessly? Nah, definitely does not. Question is, my goal to see if I connect it seamlessly. Pie in the sky? Maybe. But if you're interested in speaking to these high school students at career days and stuff like that, hey, let me know. There's another event coming up sometime during the summer. I'm going to be speaking to students through Hempstead that are looking at the entrepreneur world. Could be something fantastic. Another group I just spoke to about people going into the healthcare side, the healthcare industry. Want to speak there? Absolutely. You know what that's telling me too? It's that Long Island Speakers Bureau network will come back. It'll change, it'll adapt, it'll be something different, different than what I thought it was going to be in the beginning stages. But you know what? It's a part of it too. Tying with the whole thing, it's that microphone. I was looking for a microphone, didn't have one right handy here, but it's that microphone. That's what it is. Microphone. Using a microphone to inspire people. Maybe that'll be my new tagline. All right, I am well past the 30 minutes. Super excited about a whole lot of things, frustrated about others, don't know what the heck I'm doing with other things. And for the most part, enjoying the ride. Make sure you do too. All right, so tomorrow, hopefully we'll see you out there at the incubator, which is at 2 o'clock, which means I got to leave here a little bit earlier. So, we'll see. I'll probably do the 1 o'clock. Maybe we'll do it a little bit shorter, make it work that way. And then that's it. Wednesday morning, got an early morning thing to do. That's another Riverhead thing. So that'll be all right, supportive of the Riverhead supervisor and her efforts. And that's with the Suffolk County Alliance of Chambers. If you're a member of a Suffolk County Chamber of Commerce, let me know. That's something you could be involved with to attend that thing. So that's open to all members of the Suffolk County Chambers of Commerce. You got to be a member of a Chamber of Commerce and to attend that one. And then we'll report back on all these things. It'll be good. Really fascinating stuff. And we'll see many of you soon. Always on here. And then we're going to get guests on again. So, Kurt, I'll definitely want to take you up on that. We'll have some guests. Where are we at here? Yep, there we go. We'll leave on that one. My wife did make it. There we go. There we go. And there we go. There's Kurt's comment for the day. Kurt, we're going to leave you with this one. I'm going to leave everybody with this one. The new norm for some people, it's their own personal choice. Absolutely. The question is, what do we make of things? It's whatever you want to make of something. You could stick your head in the sand, go no place, or start digging your way out of it. You might be 3 feet from gold. Might help other people too. All right. I am, as they say, I can't say I am out of here. Somebody else said that one, but I am going to leave you with this. Actually, somebody says that. I'm going to leave you with this. Mike Francisi. Well, it's crazy YouTube things. Been watching. We'll learn all about the mob. Go figure. Hey, you know what? Why not? I met the last Jewish gangster. So here's what you need to do. 3 things. It's always 3. Learn that from comedy. Speak well. Speak often. And live inspired.